Hi everyone, this is Angus Birdseye from highhopes.com.au, and I'm here today to talk a little bit more about health and especially our whole being health, not just our physical health. Now before I start, I wanted to talk a little bit of science as well as the origins of where we came from. Firstly, physics tells us that in the universe everything is made of two things, matter or energy. In quantum physics they work with the similar two things, and that is a particle, which is matter, and a wave, which is your energy. The reason that's important is that when it comes to us as a being, a human, there is a matter side and an energetic side. And what I'm going to talk about is the four parts or four bodies of the human being, the full being that we are. And with each body and with each part, there's a matter part and then an energetic part. Now, quickly with the physical body, obviously it's mostly matter. With the spiritual body, it's mostly energy, but I'll go into that a bit more. Something that I really wanted to show everyone is about how incredible it is that we are here and why, not why we're here, but what happened for us to be here. So in chemistry, we're told that we, as humans, even our stuff, even this planet, are made up of elements. So elements like carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, all those sort of things. And we have a certain percentage of each element within our physical body. So does the chair, so does the house, so does the plant, so does the earth, and so does our sun. Now, cosmology and physics also tell us that the creation of elements only happens in one place, and that is within a star. Now, even our sun was created from a former star, a much bigger star. When a star burns, its main fuel is hydrogen. Our sun at the moment is still burning and fusing hydrogen. Now when hydrogen fuses, it creates helium. Now with a really big star, about 9 or 10 times the one of our planet, that star, when it gets to the end of its life, will start to fuse together and create new elements. So as it uses up its hydrogen fuel, it fuses together to make helium. Then as it uses its helium fuel, it fuses together to create carbon and oxygen, and goes all the way down until you get to the really rare elements, things like your gold and your silver, and even your platinum, and so on and so forth. So the really incredible thing about that is that we were once a star. So we were created from a star. Every part of us was once a big, giant, burning star, just like the sun that we have. I personally find that really amazing, and it really changes the way you look at us and our planet, because it was made from the same star. Our solar system was made from the same star. Our sun was made from the same star. We are all part of that one star. And some would believe that spiritually we all came from the one star, the one source, and then separated and then became unique souls and unique consciousnesses. And then of course came back down and fused it into matter, into the third dimension. So, anyway, now going on to health. So the four parts of the human being that I want to talk about is the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. Starting with the physical body is of course your things like your legs, muscles, organs, arms, nerves, blood vessels, chemicals, all of those sort of things. And when it comes to our physical body's health, we can look after it through exercise, eating well, drinking well, breathing well, and the thing that fuels that physical body is of course what we consume, and which is mainly our food, our water, and our air. So to look after the health of our physical body, you just have to make sure those three things are high quality and of course the right sorts of things. You know, you don't stick water into a petrol-fueled car, you stick petrol in there. You know, the same thing as a human, you don't stick crappy processed sugary foods. No, you consume high nutrient dense, protein-rich foods that the body needs to continue running. Okay, next is your mental body. Now, with our physical body, obviously we have our organ up here, which is our brain. Now, the mental body is a lot more than just the brain. And at the same time, it's not really our brain, but it is, because it's all connected, it's all the one being anyway. Your mind is so much more than just the chemical reactions and the nerve endings firing that are going on in your nerve cells. The really incredible thing about the mind is that the mind is not only located here, it's actually also located here and here. And science has proved it as well. They've now defined brain cells, the same sort of ones, in the heart, as well as in the gut, mainly around the small intestine. So our mental body not only extends from here, but there's also part of it here, and there's also part of it here. And it's when those three minds work in, those three parts of that mental body, when they work in synergy and work connected, we can really start to gauge our body and gauge our health and look after it properly, because we know how to listen to the different parts. So obviously, listening to your gut mind is going to know how the health is going on in all those digestive organs, which is obviously quite complex. Listening to your heart mind is obviously going to help you hugely to guide yourself emotionally and to make sure you're also always coming from a place of love and things like that. And then of course the brain part of your body. Now, the really incredible thing about the mental body is that it's not only within your being, it can extend out. And it can extend out almost infinitely. So you can connect and reach out mentally to an animal. You can reach out mentally to a person, which of course is called telepathy. And same thing with your animals. You can reach out and connect to an object, whether it's very close to you or really far away. And quantum physics has proved that through the theory of entanglement, where two objects can become entangled, and no matter how far away you take them from each other, whatever happens to one thing can happen to the other. So if we become entangled with something else, we can directly affect that no matter how far away they are. And we can do that with our mental body. We have that potential. When it comes to looking after the health of our mental body, we need to be careful of, one, how we think, so making sure our thoughts are managed and they don't take control of us and they don't overwhelm us. And then of course making sure that everything is connected. So you want to stay connected not only to the mind that's up here, but the mind that's here and the mind that's here, and stay connected to them, and so they all make a nice, beautiful unity within your full being. Next is your emotional body. Now, your emotional body physically, quantum physics has shown that there are certain chemicals that are created within the brain, within the hypothalamus, when a certain stimulus is felt and our mind wants to create an emotional response. It creates a chemical within the hypothalamus and it sends out to the entire body, which then connects to the receptor sites of every cell in your body. And that's why when we feel an emotion, we feel it through our whole body. Now that's talking about it physically. Energetically, an emotion is a vibration. Each emotion has a certain vibration. And positive emotions vibrate a lot higher, while negative emotions, like your fear, greed, your lust, all that sort of thing, vibrate very low. They have a really long wavelength. Now when it comes to keeping ourselves emotionally well, it's being able to manage our emotions. So doing things that we know are going to keep us in that high vibration, that high wavelength. So a few things that we can do obviously are surrounding ourselves with positive people, doing things that make us happy, and looking after ourselves internally so that we're not bottling up or suppressing emotion. Now, to give you an example of how bad suppressing emotion is, let's say you've got someone who's a little bit annoyed at someone, and they suppress that emotion and don't deal with it, whether it's talking to that person or talking to someone else or or just doing their own thing to, you know, punch something, punch a punching bag or something just to let it out. That annoyance can become, you know, a little bit of an aggravation when you suppress it. And let's say that person does something more. That aggravation then turns into anger. And let's say the same person does something, but it's not really at all annoying, it's only because that emotion is already built up. And that anger turns to true, you know, full hatred for that person. And then let's say that person does something you finally don't like, and you say, and that emotion all of a sudden becomes unbridled, or our mind can no longer suppress it. Because that's what's happening. Our mind is bottling up that emotion because we're not wanting to deal with that. And all that happens is it gets bigger and bigger and more concentrated until the release happens. Now, the release can be screaming at that person to the loud of your voice in front of everyone. It could be bashing the shit out of that person. It could, you know, even lead to, you know, such ridiculous things as, you know, killing them or something, which obviously is very extreme, but it happens. Looking after our emotions is very important because emotions are very powerful things. They can take over your body, and if you're not in control of them and you don't manage them, then they can overwhelm you. So, manage your emotions. Now, it is very difficult because we are not taught how to manage our emotions at school, which should be a major subject, which I find ridiculous that it's not, but we are never really taught how to manage our emotions properly, so it's very hard for us to be able to manage our emotions when we actually have been taught no way to do it. And most people, the way they manage their emotions, especially when it comes to things like stress or annoyance or anything like that, is they drink. Most people do that. Or, you know, then there's the extreme of it, you know, they take drugs or they do both. Now, the problem with drinking is that it does nothing to deal with the emotion. It numbs your brain so that you don't feel anything, which of course doesn't solve the problem, it doesn't get rid of the emotion, it doesn't actually help you deal with it, and when you finally wake up the next morning with a huge hangover, the emotion's still there. And the only thing that's probably overpowering it is the pain in your brain. Now, a quick fact, what's a hangover? The hangover is the stretching of the membrane between the brain and the skull because your brain has shrunk. Because alcohol robs your body of water, which of course is the main thing that makes us up and the thing that keeps us alive. So, yeah, alcohol is not your friend. It does not help you. Yeah, that's it. And when it comes to being healthy, alcohol does not make you healthy at all. At all. Poisons you. Alcohol is a poison. Yeah. Anywho. So, yeah, keeping yourself emotionally balanced is very important. Next is your spiritual body. Your spiritual body is mostly energetic, and it has a few different sections to it. There are your 7 main chakras, which sit within your body, so starting from the base here all the way up to your crown. They are kind of like your spiritual organs. And not only that, but they're also connected to your physical organs and manage them and govern them and look after it. And as I said, it's all the one being, so they're all interconnected, but knowing the different layers of it can really help you achieve full being health. Then you've got your energetic pathways, which are very similar to your blood vessels, which go all the way down, all through your body, all through here. And then you have your minor chakras, which are minor energy centers that are in your hands, arms, legs, part within in different parts of your body, and once again help to keep the flow of energy properly. Disease or disharmony within the body and within the spiritual body is when those energetic pathways or chakras are blocked or damaged. And it's repairing them and clearing them and balancing them that will restore health to your spiritual body, which can be done through healing, meditation, connecting to nature, crystals, visualizations, certain types of healing music. and they help to clear the vortex and then rebalance it so it's in line with your other centers, and then gets them energizing and spinning again. So a chakra is pretty much a big double-sided vortex which goes out like that, and it goes out the other way, out of your back as well. And it's when that's spinning properly that energy is able to come in and out, and then up and down, and then left and right, and all directions that it needs to go in. When it comes to your spiritual body, you want to be very careful as well what energies you work with, because obviously darker, lower vibrational energies are not going to be the right energies to use, because they will make you sick, or they will try and control you, or do not very nice things to you. So you want to work with high vibrational energies, things like Reiki, or angelic energy, or divine energy, and allowing those energies, especially from, and then of course the earth energy as well, so the energy from Gaia, the soul of this planet. So bringing that energy up from down there, from down towards the earth, bring that up into your heart, then calling on the source energy from the universe, bringing that down into your heart, and then allowing your heart to send it to your being. So that is spiritual health. So when it comes to the combining of the four bodies, the things that you need to be careful of is, for your physical body, what you consume. So what you eat, drink, and breathe. Then with your mental body, you want to be careful what you think. So, and not only be careful what you think, but being careful what you connect to, and also making sure that things are connected. So making sure things are connected within, but then also being very careful with your connections to outside of things, because you don't want to mentally connect to a person whose energy is very negative, because you're just going to feel their negativity and then have to deal with it in your own being once you've detached from that person. In your emotional body, you want to be careful with what you feel, and then obviously making sure you manage those feelings and manage those emotions, and making sure they don't overwhelm you or are not feeling them at all, if when it comes to not feeling more positive, higher vibrational emotions. And then of course your spiritual body, it's keeping your energy centers clear, balanced and energized, and then being careful what energies that you work with. So making sure you're working with source, Reiki, angelic, divine energy from the universe, and then of course the beautiful, loving earth energy from Gaia. So that's basically it for when it comes to the four parts of the human being. And when you achieve health in these four parts, you achieve full being health. And when that happens, wow, your world and your life just takes on the most incredible energy. And you start to experience things and participate in things which are the things that you only see and do in your dreams. And it is just so incredible to be able to experience life in that way, because that is how it's meant to be experienced. It's meant to be exciting, it's meant to be beautiful, it's meant to be happy, it's meant to be fun, it's meant to be joyful, it's meant to be loving. And by achieving that health, you can finally start to live life feeling that all the time. One thing for me is that I used to take a lot of drugs, and I used to take things like ecstasy, and used to be addicted to the feeling of being happy. When I started especially doing healing, I started with Reiki. When I first learned Reiki and first felt the feeling of that Reiki energy, I said to myself, I don't need drugs anymore. Because the same feeling that I got from ecstasy, I was now getting from the Reiki. And the Reiki was infinite and lasted forever. And it helped others as well as helping myself. So that's a little bit of my own personal experience. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I'll be more than happy to help. So, yeah, keep persisting in making your high hopes a reality, and we'll see you next time.